experiences that say otherwise. My name is Stephen Mattis, and I used to think the forest was quiet. That's how they sell it to tourists. Silence, serenity, a break from the world. But silence can deceive you. If you listen long enough, you start to realize it's not quiet at all. There's breathing in the branches, and sighs beneath the roots. And in these woods, they say even the trees remember what you've done. It started 3 months ago. I'd taken a logging contract out near Wickers Hollow, a dying sawmill town tucked between miles of untouched forest. The kind of place that exists off the map, but somehow still has a bar and a general store. The job was simple: mark birch stands for harvest. But the locals warned us. They'd said,
"Don't mark the white bark, not her trees, not the widow's tree."
I laughed it off. Everyone has ghost stories. But the way they said it, like they weren't talking about a story, like they were talking about someone they'd seen. The widow's tree was easy to spot. It stood taller than the rest, a massive silver birch with bark so pale it almost glowed, even in the dark. Someone had carved a symbol into its trunk decades ago, a spiral, etched so deep the tree still bled amber resin. It was beautiful, in the way a wound is beautiful. But I made a mistake. I marked it for cutting. That night, I dreamed of the forest breathing. The sound came in waves, a soft hum through the leaves, like wind through 1,000 throats. And in the middle of it, I saw her, a woman, tall and pale, standing among the birches. Her skin was the same color as the bark. Her eyes were black, not dark, but black, like holes punched through her skull. She was humming, almost like a lullaby. When I woke up, my tent was soaked in dew, and my logging mark was gone from the tree. I told the others. They said it was probably just rain. But the next morning, the same symbol that had been on the tree was carved into my axe handle. The Birch Widow. That's what they called her, back when Wickers Hollow still had a church and not just a pub full of warnings.
"Last fella who cut one of them birches, his bones grew roots. Found him standing like a statue."
The legend says she was a woodsman's wife, killed when her husband felled the tree where her spirit rested. When he returned the next day, they found him hanging from the branches, roots wrapped tight around his neck, like fingers. They say she waits for anyone who wounds her forest, and she makes them part of it.
White bark bleeds, sap like tears. She sings to those who hurt her children. All who cut shall be carved.
I didn't believe it, until I started finding hair. Long white strands tangled in the bark around camp. Until I heard humming in the dark. Until the birds stopped singing at dawn. That's when I started recording. She'd only come when the fog rolled in. Always the same. Soft at first, a shimmer between the trees, then closer and closer. I'd catch glimpses. A hand gripping bark too tight. A face peeking from behind a trunk, gone when I turned. Once, I saw her reflection in a puddle, upside down, standing right behind me. When I spun around, nothing. Only the forest. Quiet again. That's when I knew. She didn't need to be seen to be there. We were 5 men then. By the end, there was only me. Our foreman, Harlan, refused to stop work. Said the company didn't pay him to chase fairy tales. He started on the Birches that morning. By noon, the chainsaw jammed. When I went to check, the teeth were clogged with something stringy. Not wood, not sap. It looked like skin. Harlan laughed it off, said some animal got caught in the bark. He went back to cutting. Then we heard it, a sharp crack. The birch fell, and the forest screamed. It wasn't wind. It wasn't branches breaking. It was her. Harlan dropped. No, he was pulled. His boots dragged across the soil like something invisible had hooked him by the legs. He screamed until the roots reached his mouth. We ran. God, we ran until night came and the trees looked the same in every direction. I thought we'd made it out. But when we stopped to catch our breath, there were marks on the ground. Not footprints. Drag marks. And along the path, sap. Streaks of that same amber resin, glowing faintly in the dark. Then I heard it. The humming again. Closer this time. Coming from every direction. That was when the others broke. Tommy dropped his pack and ran into the trees. The sound followed him. I heard a crack, then silence. When I found him, he was standing perfectly still, eyes open, covered head to toe in bark. I couldn't even tell if he was breathing. By the next morning, there were only two of us left. Me and Carl. We camped by the creek, built a fire, and tried to stay awake. Carl said if we made it till sunrise, we'd make it out. He was wrong. I woke to the sound of whispering. Carl wasn't beside me. There were footprints in the mud, leading toward the Birches. I followed them, and there she was, standing by the water, tall, pale, still humming. Carl was kneeling beside her, crying like a child. She touched his face.
Hush now. The forest forgives if you become part of it. He heard me sing. He followed. He stayed. Will you? You cut too deep, and now the forest will take its due. He fed me his blood. Will you feed me yours? All roots remember. All trees keep blood.
And he turned gray, like the color drained right out of him. I ran, I don't remember where. The forest shifted, trees closing behind me, roots reaching from the ground like fingers. I heard the song chasing me, soft at first, then shrieking. 100 voices layered in one. And under it all, my name. When I finally broke through the tree line, it was dawn. The sun was bright, too bright. I didn't stop until I hit the highway. I never went back. But sometimes, when I pass a stand of birch trees, I see it. A white figure watching, just out of sight. And if the wind's just right, I swear I hear her hum. The forest never forgets the ones who cut too deep. And neither does she.